Hello, welcome to my channel. Firstly, I want to apologize for the noise of the generator in the background because we are load shedding. Today, we are going to make some nice lamb mince lasagna. Last year in the fasting, we made a soya mince lasagna that turned out very good. So we decided today, let's use lamb mince. The recipe is a little bit, my ingredients are, I have spinach lasagna, which is 250. We are using spinach lasagna to give us a little bit of bright color. Here I have 500 gram of lamb mince, which I rinsed out, 2 tablespoons of oil, 1 onions, 1 grated carrot. For my spices, I have a teaspoon of barbecue spice, a teaspoon of chopped spice, and a teaspoon of paprika. And I also have a teaspoon of ginger garlic and 1 clove of whole garlic, which is quite big. But if you have small garlic, you can use 2 cloves of garlic. Thereafter, I have a can of diced tomato with herbs, which is 400 gram. It has basil, oregano, and mixed herbs in it. I have 2 grated tomatoes, half a cup of puree. I'm going to use a grain of salt, a grain of pepper. I've also got some fresh thyme. And for garnishing, I'm going to use some spring onions. I'm also going to use some grated cheese to top my lasagna, which is 50 gram of hard cheese and 50 gram of cheddar. We are also going to make a cheese sauce, of which Pranesh will link the recipe. Now I'm ready to cook my mince. I've got my heat on, moderate heat. I'm just going to add in my 2 tablespoons of oil. Now I add in my onions. I'll allow these onions to brown a little. To my onions, I'm going to add up my thyme, and a grain of pepper, my teaspoon of ginger garlic, and my crushed garlic to the onions. I will allow this to also fry for a few minutes. And now I'm going to add in my carrot. I will give this 2 to 3 minutes to fry out. My carrots are done. Gradually, I'm going to add in my mince, which is going to also release some fat. Give this a good mix. I'm just going to allow this to fry out until the mince is nice and brown. I'm also going to break up the lumps along the way. My mince is browned up lovely, and it released most of its fat. So in go all my spices. To this, I'm going to give a generous grain of salt. And we will taste the salt as it's cooking. To my mince, I'm going to add in my grated tomatoes. My canned tomatoes. And then my puree. I'm also quickly going to rinse out this can and add the water to my mince. I added some water to my can so I can rinse out the extra tomato sauce. I'm going to give it a good mix and I'm going to allow this to cook for 20 to 30 minutes. I will allow this to cook for 15 minutes and then I'll start preparing my cheese sauce. So both sauces will be ready at one time. My minced tomato sauce is ready and I'm going to switch off my stove. And in the meantime, I also made up my cheese sauce, which is also ready. So I'm ready to layer my lasagna. I am ready to assemble my lasagna. So firstly, I'm going to add in a thin layer of tomato sauce. This will avoid the lasagna from sticking to the bottom. There's a thin layer of my sauce. It doesn't have to be too thick. So now I will layer my lasagna sheet. To this, I'll add another layer of my sauce. To this, I'm also going to layer my cheese sauce. So I'm just going to smooth my cheese sauce to my tomato sauce and I'm going to repeat the same method again. This is the last layer, which is going to be a little thin because we're going to add our grated cheese on top. Okay, it's all covered up properly. I'll give this cheese a good mix up. And sprinkle it. To this, I'm going to just cut in some spring onions. Now I'm going to use a foil to cover my baking tray, and I'll allow this to rest about 20 minutes before putting it into my oven. And in the meantime, I will preheat my oven to 165. "20 minutes has passed with the pasta resting on the counter. Now it's time for me to pop it into the oven. I'll give this 30 minutes to bake, and for the next 10 minutes I will remove the foil and allow the cheese to brown up. "40 minutes has passed and I'm ready to take my lasagna out of the oven. As you can see, it's looking very delicious, but we need it to rest for another 15 minutes before cutting. My lasagna had rested for 15 minutes and I'm ready to serve. Here you go, your lovely lasagna made with some nice lamb mince, served with some fresh salad on the side. And now Pranesh is ready to tuck in. This is his lunch for today. Thank you all for watching and enjoy.